in the last stream, we were working through this section here, the calculator section of Chapter 3. We made our very first calculator and then progressed all the way up to this guy right here. So the next quest for us to complete, and the final quest that involves making something from the calculator mod, is the quest to get a Conductor Mast. And this guy is pretty interesting because it allows us to capture the power of lightning and turn it into redstone flux. Now, to make it, we need 1 fire diamond, which we made in the last stream with 2 diamonds and 1 blaze rod. And on top of that, we also need 2 energy modules, which we have made before. These are made with power cubes and with purified coal. Between streams, I have gone ahead and done basically more of what we were doing in the last stream to get more of these Zoro Steel ingots, more Mystic Iron ingots, and more Soul Steel ingots, to the point where we should be able to craft up 2 of these power cubes here basically right away. I think my Mystic Iron is over here. It is indeed. Let's grab that and then just throw it in like so. That gets us our second power cube, at which point all we need to do is grab some coal, which we actually may or may not have. We don't. We do have charcoal, but I think we do need real coal in order to make the purified coal here. Yeah, we need 1 real coal and 1 redstone. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to grind down 2 charcoal into 2 carbon dust. We can then reassemble that in our magnetic reassembler. That should get us a 2 coal, at which point we should then be able to make those 2 energy modules. Let me just quickly check if we have any enriched gold lying around. We do. We have 7. Perfect. Now, while we wait for our coal here, there are a few other things that I want to get started with in today's stream. The first thing that is probably something we should have done a little while ago is making a new chest. We currently have 1 of these giant compact chests here, and as you can see, it is pretty full. And so I think it is probably about time that we looked at making a new one. And thanks to the fact that we do now have this storage terminal, the next one that we make can in fact be the maximum size chest. It can be 25 columns by 12 rows, because we don't really ever have to open the chest itself, so it doesn't matter if the GUI is too big for my GUI scale. So to make a maximum size chest, which I would like to be about the same color as the last chest, although I'm not entirely certain on the specific color we used last time, we need 18 regular chests, 64 iron, 64 iron bars, and 18 clay. Iron-wise, we've got 148. I have been doing yet more ancient stone to geode to resource processing between streams, as per usual. Iron bar-wise, we have 6, but of course we can make more with our iron. Clay-wise, we do have 4 blocks of clay, and so getting the 18 clay required here should be pretty straightforward. In fact, we have just enough. And then the final piece there was 16 chests, which I think we should be pretty much good to do here. We do have almost 2 stacks of oakwood planks. That's going to get us almost there. We do need 18 chests, actually not 16, so we're not going to quite have enough here. However, we do have more wood being processed, and so hopefully we should be able to get up to 18 chests fairly quickly. So 18 chests, 64 iron, 64 iron bars, and 18 clay. And that should be everything for a maximum size compact chest. And you're about to see why we didn't make our original chest max size. And that's because, as you can see here, there are slots at the top of this that are not quite as easily reachable. And it does also hide my inventory as well. I can't see my my hotbar. Not terrible, definitely usable, but not ideal either. But now, going forward, we should be able to deposit things in here without having to worry about not having the space for it, because any items that we don't already have a slot for should make their way over into this giant chest that we have here, and thus give us quite a bit of space for the future. For now, though, let's grab some redstone. I think 2 is basically all we need here. At that point, if we go and combine the coal with the redstone, we get 2 enriched coal. We then need that gold. I think 2, again, is the correct amount here. This time, I think we are adding again. No, we're dividing this time. That's going to get us the purified coal. And then from there, I think we're basically good to go. We can now divide our power cube by the purified coal, and that should get us the 2 energy modules that we need. And if we throw all of that into our brand new atomic calculator, like so, that should get us the Conductor Mast. Nice. as a reward, we do get the weather stations here. Now, I've not used the Conductor Mast before. However, I did take a quick look at the wiki, and the wiki mentioned 2 different items that you can use alongside the Conductor Mast. There is the weather station and the transmitter. So the transmitter increases the frequency of lightning strikes, and the weather station increases the power of lightning strikes. You can point it towards the Conductor Mast. It has to be linked. Okay, so presumably to link it, I'd guess we're going to need some kind of wrench. There is a wrench from the calculator mod. However, it is, I was going to say quite a pricey recipe, although by the looks of it, actually, this is not too bad whatsoever. We can put this guy down. For now, I guess like right about there. I guess in reality, we probably do want this to be at least 1 block above the ground, because if I'm not mistaken, you do have to pull the power out of the bottom of the mast here. So if we put this down, we can then surround it with weather stations. Ah, okay. So yeah, if you put these guys down on the same level as the mast, they do auto-link to the mast, which is always good. So putting these down, like so, and again, they don't have to be down like in these 4, sides like this. I'm pretty sure you could, if you wanted to, put one down, like right about here, and that would also link to the same mast. Looking at the wiki, you can build pretty big kind of like energy farms where you have just a bunch of these weather stations all, crowded around one conductor mast to really increase the amount of power that you're going to get. Again, you can also combine that with the transmitters to increase the frequency of lightning, because right now it's a little infrequent, although I'm pretty sure it does tell you, yeah, in here when the next lightning strike will be. So currently, our next lightning strike is going to be in about 19 seconds here. So that's what the lightning strike looks like, a pretty standard Minecraft lightning strike. And for each lightning strike that hits, we do get redstone flux. As you can see, it's building up in the conductor mast here. And so if we wanted to, we could then use that power to power things like our calculators over here and our, separators, both stone and algorithmic. So a good way of generating power going forward. Right now, I don't know if we need a ton of redstone flux, at least not for today's stream, because what I want to work on now is, of course, trying to push towards the end of Chapter 2. To do that, we're going to have to do a couple of things. We might as well, I think, complete this quest here for the electric diamond. You can make an electric diamond in the conductor mast by putting in 1 fire diamond. I do think that it maybe has to be hit by lightning, or maybe not. Maybe it just uses the power that's already in there. But if we once again grab, I think it was 2 blaze rods and 1 diamond, we can combine those up in the atomic calculator, like so. Although maybe it's the other way around, like so. And that gets us the fire diamond. At that point, we can take that over into here, drop it in, and slowly but surely, that is going to turn into an electric diamond. Nice. So that is easy enough. We also get this lovely fire diamond pickaxe there, which might be useful. The next set of quests here is jumping back into Evilcraft, and the quest book wants us to get a soul book of Enderman, and then, of course, spawn some Enderman in to get an Ender Pearl. From there, it wants us to make the next 2 tiers of the Promise of Tenacity. Right now, we do have the tier 1 promise in our blood infuser here. And of course, the promises of tenacity do upgrade your furnace. So the higher tier we get, the better our furnace becomes and the more it can produce. To make the second promise of tenacity, we need 1 ender pearl, hence the requirement before it. 1 gold promise acceptor, which is 40,000 millibuckets of blood with 1 block of gold, and that previous promise of tenacity, as well as a strength 1 ball of promises, which again, just like we did before, it's a filled bowl of empty promises with the promise of tenacity and some more blood. And then finally, if we want to get the tier 3 promise, we have to get an Eye of Ender, a electric diamond, a diamond promise acceptor, which is 160,000 millibuckets of blood with 1 block of diamond, and again, a strength 2 this time bowl of promises, which shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think. So the long and short of this is that we're going to need a lot of blood if we're going to make this happen. So I think what we're going to try and do today is utilize an item from Evilcraft, these guys right here, the spiked plate, which will damage mobs, and if you place it on a pedestal, will drain blood. So we can automate the process of generating blood for our blood infuser here, and it's fairly easy to do, especially if we combine our spawner with these vector plates that we were given as a reward for a previous quest. Now, I'm fairly certain that we're going to need a lot more vector plates here in order to actually set up a spawner, because the area in which mobs can spawn is actually quite large. I think an 11 by 11 area is kind of about what we want to cover with vector plates. But the idea is that if we use a spawner, and we're almost certainly not going to use spiders because spiders are a little awkward, mostly because of the fact that they are like wide, so they don't really neatly fit into one block. And if we're going to automate the killing of mobs using the spikes here, we want to make sure that we can push that mob onto like a 1 square tile. So I think for now, we're probably going to go with Enderman, given that those are the mob that the book wants us to make next. So I think what we can do here, first and foremost, is we can, I believe, shift right click to basically empty out the spawner that we currently have. We get the soul book back and we get all of our upgrades back. So going forward, we can put those upgrades into another spawner. And I think what I am probably going to do is I'm probably going to raise this platform up a little bit and also make it quite a bit bigger as well. Like I said, I think an 11 by 11 area is ideally what we're going to have. And then at the center of that, for the time being, I think we're going to go with Enderman. So if we want to make a soul book of Enderman, we have to take a regular soul book, which is a book and Ender dust, and then surround that with at least 3 Enderman essence. Right now, I'm pretty sure that we don't have any Enderman essence. We don't. However, we can get Enderman essence from Enderbone chunks, and it does appear that we do have some Enderbone chunks in here. I also did do a little bit more in the way of coarse dirt processing in our atomic reshaper between streams, and so we do now have some more fossils, including some more glowing fossils that we should be able to crack open to get even more of these Enderbone chunks. Okay, so the Twitch chat is recommending once again that I make this guy right here, the Vengeance pickaxe. It does have Curse of Vengeance 3, which I'm not actually quite sure the negatives of that are, but it does come with Fortune 5, and it's really not too difficult to make. It's 3 diamonds, 2 dark sticks, and 2 hardened blood shards. The dark sticks made with undead planks and a gem. Right now, I don't think we have any undead planks. However, I am fairly certain that we have already made an undead sapling. Yeah, you can make it in the blood infuser with 2 buckets of blood, a dead bush, and the tier 1 promise of tenacity. So if we do something like this, we currently, I don't think, have enough blood in our system there. We do have 1 condensed blood, which I think is going to get us a bucket worth. Not even that, 500 millibuckets, which is a little unfortunate. It does mean that if we are going to get this, which I think is probably worthwhile, we might have to temporarily replace down our spider spawner here. Okay, so a little bit of spider blood later, so we can drop that in, and at that point should hopefully be able to get another undead sapling. We can, perfect. And then presumably this will grow an undead tree. We will once again plant it on the fertile soil there to hopefully increase the speed at which the undead tree here grows. That is quite a tall tree. That's going to get us some undead wood. And I'm going to assume again that much like with all of the other logs in the game, I can't just craft this into planks. No, I assume I have to actually run it through the sawmill to get the planks there. We do indeed. That is fine. A little unfortunate that you don't get another undead sapling back. You do once again have to run your dead bush through the blood infuser here to get another undead sapling. But either way, those undead planks there should be more than enough. So if we do something like this, that's going to get us 4 dark sticks, at which point, if we do one of these, that gets us the Vengeance pickaxe. So now with Fortune 5, as we showed earlier in the series, you can get significantly more chunks every time you break one of these fossils here. So over here, for example, without Fortune, we were getting between 2 and 5 chunks, a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 5. And now that we have Fortune, we can get, I think, up to 11 every single time we break this. So we should get, hopefully, significantly more chunks there. Look at that, we've got 22 in total now. We did also take a slight hit there, which I assume is from Curse of Vengeance 3. It does say it might summon a vengeful spirit, but that's probably, oh yeah, hello my friend. But that's probably a worthwhile trade-off for the massive amount of bone chunks that we're going to get going forward with this pickaxe. Now, another thing, a quick detour here that was mentioned to me by the Twitch chat, is a way to auto-feed myself. Apparently, if we grab 8 potatoes here, and we craft those up into a ring in our crafting station, like so, we can get this guy, the Funyun Ring, which automatically fills up your hunger at the cost of Emblem's durability. So apparently, if we put this into our bobble slot here, this will use the food that we have to auto-feed us and then just slowly but surely run out of durability, which is actually kind of perfect because, of course, we have 2,048 potatoes. We can really make as many of these Funyun Rings as we like. So hopefully going forward, we don't really have to worry too much about food. You'll see just then we did actually, heal back up to full because we have been auto-fed something out of our inventory there, which is very nice indeed. So now we have these 34 Ender Bone Chunks. If we shift right-click on them, we should start to get some of these essences here. Now, by the looks of it, the odds are quite low. Yeah, the Enderman essence only has a 4% drop chance, which is not particularly high, although, never mind, we got 3 of them within our first couple there, which is actually perfect, and so we should now be able to look at making a new Soulus book. I think I am going to have to make a new regular book for that, which is almost certainly going to require another bit of glue. Thankfully, we do have bone meal, and we do have what it takes to make sugar here, so getting another bit of glue should be pretty easy. We're also going to have to make quite a bit more glue if we want to make all of the vector plates that are going to be required for automating the collection of blood later on in today's stream. For now, though, let's get this guy cooking. Let's do something like this. And then from there, do we have ender dust? We don't. However, we can get it by crafting our sledgehammer with our ender bone chunks. And we do, of course, still have our sledgehammer ready to go here. So once we have the ender dust, that gets us a soul book. We can then combine that with our ender... Oh, this is endermite essence. Hold on, that's not right, is it? No, we need enderman essence, not endermite essence. That was a close call there. Let me do a little bit more chunk opening. So enderman essence does have a 4.1% chance, whereas endermite essence has a 30% chance. So that would explain why we got so much endermite essence so quickly. Let me quickly take those out just in case I accidentally use those, which would be quite the mistake. And instead, let's re-grab all of those enderbone chunks and see if we can't get 3 enderman essence. So we didn't get a single enderman essence from 30 chunks. So it's quite possible that we're going to have to get maybe even more dirt with glowing fossils than we currently have. All right, so another stack and a half of chunks later. We actually got 7 enderman essence there, which thankfully is good enough. So if we do one of those, that's going to get us the soul book of the enderman. We can put away all of the other essences that we got here, although the shulker essence could prove useful later on down the line. That's not allowing an item to go in there. Oh, of course, chat, because I'm an actual fool. I put down the storage chest, but then didn't put an item interface on the back of it, and so we can't actually use that yet. Let me quickly grab an item interface here, and let's also grab some more logic cable. We do, of course, have to do this and this in order to actually be able to use this as part of our integrated dynamics terminal system. So now that we have the soul book of the enderman, I'm once again going to shift right click to take everything out of this spawner. And as mentioned earlier, I think what we're going to do is we're going to build a new 11 by 11 platform up like here, maybe just a few blocks above the current platform. And of course, the idea is that we're going to have all of the endermen spawn. They're going to be pushed towards one centralized location, and that one centralized location is where we're going to put the spike plate. And the spike plate, of course, does need to be atop a pedestal. Now, there are 2 different kinds of pedestal. There is the Sanguinary Pedestal, and then the same pedestal, but with efficiency 1. To make the first pedestal, you need 6 dark gems and then a block of dark gems. So in total, 15 dark gems there. If you want to upgrade to the higher tier with efficiency 1, which presumably just gets you more blood per kill with the spikes, you need 5 dark power gems, which we make by dropping dark gems into 5 buckets of blood. So we need 25 buckets of blood for that. And then on top of that, we need a whole block of dark power gems, so a further 9, which is, again, just a ton more, like 45 more buckets of blood on top of the initial 25 that we need. So quite pricey. I think we'll start with the default pedestal, and then we can maybe upgrade once we start getting a much larger amount of blood. We should, I think, be able to get 15 dark gems fairly easily here, because we do have 10 dark ore, and if we run all of those through our grinder, that should get us 20 dark gems. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Twitch chat has pointed out I'm a fool, and in fact, something I pointed out in the past is that now that we have the blood infuser, it's only 250 millibuckets of blood per dark gem, not 5 buckets of blood. So we could actually probably make the efficiency pedestal a fair bit easier. We probably still won't make it, simply due to the fact that I don't think we have enough dark gems to make the higher tier here. We're going to get 20 dark gems from all of our dark ore, but we would need upwards of 30 if we were going to make this second tier of pedestal. So for now, I think we'll stick with the default tier. Also, if we're going to make an 11 by 11 platform for Enderman to spawn on, we need to be able to put a vector plate down on every single one of those blocks in that 11 by 11 area to make sure that all of the Endermen are pushed to the spike trap. Okay, the Twitch chat is also grilling me here, because apparently I'm a fool, and instead of grinding down our dark ore to get 2 dark gems, we should instead be breaking our dark ore with our Vengeance pickaxe here, because that gets us horrible sounds. I don't know if I can fight this guy. But we only got 1 gem there, right? Hold on, 113. If I put this down and I break it... Oh yeah, that got us 2. But it also got us some extra crushed dark gems as well. Hello, my friend. Goodbye. We're at 15. That one got us 3. So I guess it is probably better this way. So now we have 22 dark gems, having broken some of them with our fortune pickaxe there. That should thankfully now be enough to make the first pedestal. If we do something like this. Perfect. Again, still not enough dark gems, I don't think, to make the second tier yet. Mostly due to me being a fool with not using our fortune pickaxe. But going forward, it shouldn't be too difficult for us to get some more dark ore. And then, more dark gems should we need them. And for the time being, I think this tier 1 pedestal is probably fine. As I was saying, we are going to need to get 121 vector plates if we're going to get the whole area covered. So, thankfully, the vector plates are not too difficult to make. They're made with 2 iron ingots, 1 glue, 2 stone, and 1 sugar. I have been smelting a bunch of stone between streams, because stone was one of those things that we were severely lacking in the last stream. And so, really, I think all we're going to have to do here is get the glue. We do have a good amount of sugarcane. And again, these are made in sets of 8. So despite the fact that we are going to have to get 121, we do already have 8. So we have to craft 113 more. And 113 divided by 8 is 14.125. So we need to make 15 lots of vector plates here, which means 30 iron, 15 glue, 30 stone, and 15 sugar. Again, 15 sugar, not going to be a problem. The glue is going to be a slightly bigger problem. Not because it's hard to get, but mostly just because we don't have it right now. And I also don't think we have enough bone meal to make that glue. Yeah, we have 5 bone meal, and we're going to need 15. Also, the knife that we've been using to get our bone meal is down to its last 2 durability. I guess we're finally going to have to upgrade, or at least make a new knife. I did notice between streams there are multiple tiers of knife from this mod. And I see no reason why we shouldn't go just up straight with the highest tier of knife. Hopefully it works in the same way. I'm not going to use it just yet. I would prefer to wait for my health to regenerate just a little bit. I doubt it does more damage. I assume it just has more durability. Yeah, okay, that's actually perfectly fine. Let's throw you in over there. And yeah, that should be more than enough bone meal now. So let's grab half of our sugarcane. We'll drop that down over with the old bone meal. That should fairly quickly get us the 15 glue. And at that point, I think we're pretty much good to go in terms of the vector plates here. And there we go. We're up to 128 out of 121 required vector plates. We do have to make the extra 7 there because they're made in sets of 8. And so now we should be good to go. And so I think, chat, that we need to build a new platform. Okay, so once we have our 11 by 11 platform down, we're then going to go ahead and put down the spawner right about there, in the middle and above the floor. At that point, we can then begin placing down all of our vector plates, and essentially we want all of these pointing towards kind of like this spot here. For those who don't know, by the way, the vector plates are basically like conveyor belts. Anything that's on them will be moved in the direction they point in. So if you drop, an item on there, the items will be moved in that direction. If mobs land on there, much like myself, they'll be pushed along in that direction as well. If you hold shift, by the way, you can walk over them without being pulled. Obviously, the mobs cannot do that. So we are essentially going to have all of our vector plates point in this direction, with all of the vector plates on this last line here kind of pointing to this center spot. We're then going to basically have a shaft, and that's not right. We're going to have a shaft that goes down here and lands on the spikes that are going to be on the pedestal, which should hopefully generate blood when the Enderman land on it. So here we go. We now have all of our vector plates down. Somebody in the Twitch chat did make a good point that we should put a vector plate down right here on top of the spawner if we can. I guess it doesn't matter which way it goes. Oh, you can't put one on top of the spawner. Interesting. I guess we're just going to have to live with the fact that occasionally an Enderman might get stuck on top of that spawner there, which I guess is fine. Let's just quickly replace that. But now, essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this cobblestone here. And like I mentioned before, we're going to have the Enderman kind of fall down here. And I think what we will probably do is we'll probably have the pedestal right about here, and then we'll have the spikes atop that pedestal as well. And I think that the blood, is stored in this pedestal. You can see right now if we hold shift, in the top left there, it says we have 0 millibuckets currently in the pedestal. So what we want to do is we want to make a weighted pressure plate. We then want to make 3 spikes, but actually we should already have some from our last spike making endeavor. So now if we take this guy and place it down on top of the pedestal, like so, at that point, all we have to do is kind of box this in to make sure that all of the Endermen that are pushed in this direction end up on that spike trap there. And just to be safe, I'm going to do like a little bit of this, although I guess we should do it with walls, right? I don't think the walls are going to have to be too high. I think 1 is probably fine. But let's do this for now. So at this point in time, let me put my ladders back down just so I can get up and down somewhat quickly. Let's grab all of the upgrades for the spawner. I do believe one of these quests here did give us an option. Yeah, I think we're going to go with the murky orbs now, because we want the spawner to work when we're further away. So we're going to hold down shift to not get moved by the vector plates. We're going to put in the Enderman book. And then we're going to begin adding all of these upgrades here. Turns out if you shift right click, you can put them all in at once, which is news to me, but good news nonetheless. So hopefully, once this gets to 100%, we see Enderman spawn. They shouldn't attack us because we're not going to look at them, but they should fall down into that hole there and begin getting killed. I'm going to try not to look at them, but they should begin getting killed by the spike trap. I'm also going to temporarily turn down hostile creatures so we don't have to listen to them as they go through it. But look at that. We have liquid blood filling up in our pedestal here. And we also do actually, I forgot about this, we do get the drops from the mobs as well. So we are, of course, going to get ender pearls from this setup. And let's have a look real quick. We do get a dark tank as a reward for this quest. I do think that we already should have a dark tank. We do. You can upgrade these, as it says in the tooltip here, by crafting 2 of them together, and their capacities are combined. And they're really not too difficult to make. We could make a second one here, and then just craft those together to get a 32 bucket tank. Oh, would you look at that? So the Twitch chat has let me know, quite nicely of them, that the pedestal here does auto eject. Now, I'm assuming the dark tank doesn't also eject, because my plan, of course, is to get some of that blood over into my blood infuser. So we're going to pick this guy up and move it over here. Ideally, I think we'd use the tank as a buffer. We could, of course, put the blood infuser down directly next to the pedestal, and presumably that would also work. But I'm going to assume this doesn't work as like an auto refill setup. Ah, okay. So I right-clicked on the tank. I'm going to assume that that enabled auto supply. You'll see at the bottom there, it does say auto supply disabled. We right-clicked it, and so now it is supplying the blood infuser here with blood, which is perfect. If we put in our promise of tenacity, that's going to begin giving even more blood over into the infuser there, which is perfect. And so hopefully, chat, going forward, we don't really have to worry too much about manually acquiring blood using our blood extractor. One thing that the Twitch chat has pointed out here, there are quite a few Endermen. One thing that has been pointed out is that we should rotate one of these vector plates here. I don't know why I'm being hit, but we should rotate a vector plate to face that way so that... Let me get out of here real quick. So that no Endermen get trapped on the back of the spawner. Okay, so the Twitch chat recommended I move this down by 1 because previously this was not 3 tall. So like the heads of the Endermen were popping out up here, which was stopping other Endermen from falling in. So we used a lever here to turn this off. I will turn it back on, and hopefully this next batch here should all end up in the hole. Yeah, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Another suggestion was to use stronger vector plates around the edge here. We could also maybe do with like a vector plate pushing this way by the looks of it, because this guy's just like hanging out here, right? So if we got rid of this wall and put a vector plate kind of pushing back, I think that could, and actually I have them on me, I think that could help get this guy out of the way. Yeah, like that. But this seems to be working pretty well. I don't think it's perfect. I think one block lower would be ideal. I think I did just look at one of them as well, but that's fine. He's not long for this world. But yeah, I think one block lower would have been ideal, but I think this is going to work out just fine. So now the pedestal is one block lower, but it's still passing all of its blood through to the dark tank, which is then passing it through to the blood infuser here. We did lose a little bit of blood when I took when I broke this, because you have to take the promise of tenacity out to break it, but this should hopefully be supplying here, although it's possible that maybe it can only supply up or down. So unfortunately, you can only kind of auto-eject from the bottom of the dark tank. So outside of putting our blood infuser like directly underneath this, which we could do, but that puts it, you know, way closer to the water than I would like. By the water, I of course mean the lava. So I think for now, what we'll probably do is go ahead and make another fluid extractor, and then use that to pull the fluid out of the tank and into the blood infuser. I don't think this works. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to go one block over. Like this. So you go fluid extractor, then fluid pipe. Then if we turn that on, now that should begin to fill up. Yeah, and one of the benefits of this is that it does seem to fill up faster. Like it transfers the blood faster than just having it underneath the tank there. So that's good. We should now be able to look at making this next promise of tenacity here, because we do have the 40,000 millibuckets of blood required to make that gold orb. So if we grab one block of gold, we can go and throw that into our infuser, and that should get us this gold promise acceptor. We have a bunch of ender pearls now, so those are fine. And then we want to get a strength 1 bowl of bowl of promises, which we can make with a filled bowl of empty promises and 5 buckets of blood. So the filled bowl is 2 crushed dark gems and 1 bowl of empty promises. For that, we're going to need 3 dark gems through the blood infuser here. That should be fine. Let me go check how many dark gems we currently have. We have 6. We might have to get some more of those in a second here. For now, 3 is going to be fine, though. So not too long later, and this is pretty much done. Perfect. We can then go and put those in. Hopefully, those are going to be a little bit quicker. At which point, we should have basically everything that we need here. We do have some crushed dark gems from using our Vengeance pickaxe earlier in the stream. After that, for the next tier here, we do need 160,000 millibuckets of blood and a diamond block. I think that should be fine. I'm going to assume with the second promise tier here that our internal capacity is going to go up to 160,000. And given our current setup, I don't think it's going to take us too long to get up to that amount, which is very nice indeed. Let's do a quick craft, 1, 2, 3, to get the bowl, and then we'll craft that with our crushed dark gem there to get the filled bowl of empty promises. Now, if we run that through our infuser, we should get the bowl of promises strength 1, which is the first of many bowls we're going to need. Also, one thing I did notice between streams is that we can take these pristine diamonds here, and you can just craft these into diamond blocks like regular diamonds, and then you can craft them back into regular diamonds. So you can just turn them all into regular diamonds by just crafting them. I don't know if there's a specific need for pristine diamonds over regular diamonds, but even just for storage sake, like just getting the diamonds, out of this chest here. Like right now we've got 2 slots taken up by pristine emeralds when we have a draw for regular emeralds. So presumably we can just do this, get regular blocks of emeralds, and then from there, craft those back down and put them in with our regular emeralds here to save a bit of space in our chest. So just a quick tip there for some space saving. Either way, we'll take this block of diamond ready for the next promise of tenacity. Over here, this guy is done, so we have that ball of promises. And so now we should be able to make the promise of tenacity 2. We do ender pearl, ball of promises, and gold promise acceptor. That gets us the tier 2. I don't know if we have to put these in as well, or instead of. I think it's instead of. It is. And yeah, that gives us 160,000 millibuckets worth of capacity now. It might take a second for that to get up to full capacity. While it does, we could look at making this strength 2 bowl of promises, which is a filled bowl of empty promises with 5,000 millibuckets of blood in this tier 2 area here. So again, that actually seems very doable if we do this and this. I think it's actually just a case of putting this in our infuser. Yeah, it's the promise of tenacity 2 that gives it strength 2. So we'll just throw you in there like so. So there is our strength 2 potion there. And yeah, at this point in time, I think it's basically just waiting for the 160,000 to fill up. I guess we can preemptively put our diamond block in, and once this gets up to 160,000, then it will just be made. While we wait for it, we can take a look at some of these next recipes here, although by the looks of it, they do need the highest tier of Promise of Tenacity, which makes a lot of sense. So the next quest is for 4 Arcane Crystals. We do need the tier 3 Promise of Tenacity for it, but we also need Electric Diamonds. So the quest wants us to make 4 of them. 4 of those would require 4 Electric Diamonds. Right now, I think we have but 1 Electric Diamond. Yeah, we should be able to make more of those fairly easily. They're made with diamonds and blaze rods, both of which we have a fair amount of. We've got 313 diamonds, and we currently have but 1 blaze rod, actually. That's surprising, but we can, of course, make more blaze rods fairly easily using our bits of lava sand. I think we do have quite a lot of those, so if we do something like this, we can get a few more of those going nice and easily, at which point, back over here, we can do something like this, and get, for now at least, 3 more of those, which we can put into our Conductor Mast to get 3 more electric diamonds. This guy currently has 1.9 million redstone flux stored inside from all of that lightning that it's been collecting, which is perfect. Now, after we get the Arcane Crystals, which we can do with our 4 electric diamonds, we then need to get 3 dark matter. The 3 dark matter is made by smelting 3 Adele wood logs. The 3 Adele wood logs are going to require 3 regular oak logs, 12 soul sand, and then 12 arcane crystal dust. So we get that by crushing those arcane crystals. If we need 3 of these, we need 12 of these, which means we need 6 arcane crystals. So we actually need 2 more electric diamonds by the looks of it. Which again shouldn't be a problem. Perfect. We'll throw all of those in over here. And then from there, we need the Piercing Vengeance Focus. To collect the Corrupt Pixie in a Bottle item required to craft this quest objective, place a bottle block from Forbidden and Arcanus, then right-click it with a Corrupt Pixie. Okay, so this requires 3 Prismarine Shards, 2 Empty Orbs, 2 Dark Matter, and 1 Vengeance Focus, which is 4 crushed dark gems, 4 iron, and 1 vengeance ring, which is exactly the same recipe, but without the vengeance ring. And then the corrupt pixie in a bottle requires the bottle from Forbidden and Arcanus, which is this one, the bottle block. That seems easy enough. And then it says then right-click it with a corrupt pixie. The corrupt pixie is made with 2 feathers and 1 arcane crystal dust. So we are going to need maybe another arcane crystal, so maybe another electric diamond, but that's fine. 2 feathers. We can get feathers from chickens? I assume we can get chicken essence? Yeah, so we might have to make a chicken book to get feathers, because I don't really see another way to get it. We're a little ways away from the chemical combiner, so I think chickens are really the only option we have there. And then we need a dark soul, which is made with a corrupty dust, which is 1 dark matter, 1 blaze powder, 1 nether wart, 1 ender pearl fragment, which is just an ender pearl crafted, and yet another arcane crystal dust. And then we also need a fond memories, which is made by burning a golem meal. I hope you feel really bad. You get the golem meal by crushing a golem corpse. Excuse me? What? So I think we have to spawn one of our golems, kill one of our golems, crush one of our golems, and then use that for fond memories? I'm actually not sure where one of our golems went, by the way. We only have 1 left up here. I don't know what happened to the other guy. I swear nothing happened. I didn't kill it secretly between streams. I've no idea what happened to that. So I guess we're going to make another straw golem. We need a hay bale and a pumpkin. That seems very doable. I'm not quite sure how much wheat we have in our system, so for now, we'll just grab some more wheat over here. I know for a fact we have a pumpkin in the system, but, you know, just in case, I'll go ahead and grab one of these. So I guess what we're going to do here is we're going to do this, 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 and this. And I do feel really bad. I was forced, chat. I had no choice. You can turn it into dirt. What in the world? Oh, we have to burn it. Of course. Hold on. Let me get the old flint and steel here. Sorry, my friend. But we now have fond memories. Okay. So we can use those to make the piercing vengeance focus. We did get another tank there, which is good. So if we get 1 more tank, we can then up this to 64 buckets worth of capacity. How are we doing over here? We're at 101,000. So I do believe after a while that we run out of, like, spirits in here. Yes, souls. You'll see right now it says souls remaining, 73%. So we probably want to keep an eye on that. While we wait on the last, like, 15 buckets here of this, I do want to finally get this Zen Crafting Table here. It's something I mentioned quite a few times in the past. Essentially, it's going to allow us to start making some of the Zen blocks, which are right at the back of JI here. So do we have 4 glowstone? We do. If we do something like this, we can get our block of glowstone. And then from there, and actually, I guess we'll start with the non-portable version of the crafting table, and we can upgrade to the portable version in the future. And that actually only requires 1 glowstone, so we'll just put that back in like so. But essentially, this Zen crafting table is going to allow us to utilize those Zen trees that we grew earlier in the pack. So with these, and real quick, let me go and stand over here for a second so we can trigger the Enderman to spawn. But with these, what we can do is we can make Zen Stone, which is this stuff right here. It's made by crafting regular Minecraft stone with Zen crystals. The Zen crystals, of course, we can either get by crafting the Zen wood, which we get from Zen trees, or the Zen leaves, which we also get from Zen trees. I also think you do get some Zen crystals just from cutting down the trees as well. So fairly easy to get. And then once you have that Zen stone, you can then configure it in the Zen table. So if we were to, I guess, get a Zen sapling. Actually, yeah, no, let's do this and this to get our first 8 Zen stone. At that point, if we put that over in this table, which for now I am going to move over here. Again, we want to be spending as much time underneath the Enderman spawner as we can to increase the amount of blood in our blood infuser. But in here, what we can do is we can customize the look of our Zen stone. So you put the Zen stone in, and it gets instantly transformed into whatever design you have in the top right here. So we can pick from any of the 16 Minecraft colors. And in the top right, if you click this square, it will cycle through all of the different design patterns available from Zencraft. So, for example, let's say we wanted this design right here. We could put our Zen Stone in, and it gets transformed into that pattern, at which point we could then, of course, use this kind of as our block of choice for building going forward. So, right now we're using a lot of cobblestone and a lot of grass and a lot of wood, which is very practical, but doesn't look particularly great. So going forward, I would like to expand our horizons into, slightly more colors and textures. And I think I will end up using, hopefully, quite a few of these Zen blocks as well. For now, though, we are very much so there on the Blood Infuser. So any second now, this craft here should begin. Oh, yeah, it's going. I thought maybe it wasn't going, but it is going. It's just really, really, really slow. It is so very slow. My goodness. In that case, chat, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's Volcano Block portion of the stream there. Next time, we'll come back. This should be finished. And we can look at crafting the Arcane Crystals, the Dark Matter, the Piercing Vengeance Focus, the Vengeful Essence, and the Garmonbosia. I'm still not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly at all, but we'll hopefully get those done at the start of the next stream, and then begin looking into the beginning of Chapter 4, starting out with the Lexica Britannia, and moving into some, by the looks of it, some basic mana generation, and then some Runic Altar shenanigans later on down the line. I even see some Terra Steel further on as well.